Hello everyone, we are going to learn another node which is rectangle. It has some hints like rotate part that we learn axis in it. In here we are supposed to learn another concept. Alright, let's get to the rectangle. It has a lot of models, but for now we need this model by width, length. As you can see in parentheses it says plane, width and length. Alright, after that, select it and click on it. Let's check its ports. We have width and length here, that each of them has the default value which is 1, and here we need plane. Now we are supposed to learn how to define the plane. As you can remember, in Revit we had something which was called work plane. But now we are going to learn how to define the work plane in Dynamo. Maybe it has the least usage in the rectangle, but in many other situations it has a lot of usages for us. First of all, we're gonna use the default work planes. For example, it's the x-axis and y-axis, then z-axis. This plane that the grid is on it, it is the plane of x and y. Alright my friends, let me tell you something. Sometimes I stop speaking because, I'm gonna make you to think about the answers that I'm supposed to tell you after a very short time. Actually, I continue this method to the end of this course. So, this plane which is showing with this grid is the plane of x and y. Well, right click and then search plane here. You can see there are defaults like xy, xz, yz. Click on it. If I write here xy instead, it will show me that again, as you can see. It's the default plane which is like this. When I connect this to this one, it makes a rectangle which has width and length of 1. That is a default value. Okay, another plane, xz. Alright, click on it. It is like that. And naturally, when I connect this to this one, it makes a rectangle on it. Alright, and for yz, if you search and click on it, okay, and connect it to this one, the rectangle which is made is like this. Alright my friends, let me give you a point here that if you want to draw a rectangle on this plane which is x and y plane, which is our default plane, you should use this node that you should search rectangle here by width and length without plane, and it just can make a rectangle for you right now, but just on the ground. However, you can move it later. That means it makes it nowhere but on the ground, and you are able to move it later. Alright, for example, I'm gonna give it a number 10 for this and this. Now there's a question here. If you notice, all of these planes are on the 0 point. For example, I want this x and y plane, which is horizontal, in a height. Alright. Let me explain it more. I can't use this anymore because these are on a base. The node which we should use it for, placement of exclusive planes for exclusive place, is, okay, search plane here, by origin normal. You can choose its location, but the others are on 0 point because you don't want to work on the ground anymore. After you click on it, okay, let's check its inputs. And origin, which we talked about it before, that it always needs a point. Origin point of plane. Okay, for the next one, which is normal. Alright, what does it mean? If you can remember from mathematics, we had a normal vector, and normal is perpendicular to that plane. It says that in which direction you want the normal vector, which it is x and y and z. We can give it a special direction as well, that we can talk about them later. If you don't mind, let's make a plane in a height of 5. At first, we should make a point, alright, code block here, and give 5 to its z, alright? Then give it to origin. You see that? As you can see, the plane goes up. We don't give it normal. Why? Because it's parallel to x and y plane, since it has a default value. If you read this, it says vector default value by coordinates 0, 0, 1, which 1 is on z-axis. You know what? It equals to like you give z-axis when you right-click search z-axis, yes, and then after that you give it to normal. As you can see, there is no difference here. You can give it various directions here on point of 5. It means I want my plane to be on point of 5 but in different direction, for example y. And then I give normal to y-axis. As you can see, it's different now. And now if you give your exclusive plane to rectangle, what will happen? Your rectangle will be drawn on that plane. Okay, for example, if you give it to normal in a height which belongs to this point, a rectangle will be made. So we learned so far that how to use the default planes and how to define our planes in a specific location. But there's a hint here that you should pay attention to, that all the planes that we have made so far are parallel to the global directions. It's true if we make this plane up for 5 units, or if I give this to this one, it goes that way, but it's still parallel to the global directions. Can we make a diagonal plane here? Can we specify the direction of the plane? Of course we can. But how? Alright, to do that, let me first disconnect it, okay? To do that, we need 2 points in order to specify that plane direction. In fact, by 2 points, we make a normal vector or specify a direction. Alright, let me deselect its preview, okay? Here the same, alright. Right click, search point. For example, here I say I want my plane direction to be diagonal. You know what? It says like, can you give me the next point to understand which direction you mean? For example, I mean I want it to be like this. See, in this direction. Control B, okay, I want it to be like this. To have a better view, you can give it a line. In fact, it is the direction of that plane. How to make a vector, a direction, by 2 points. I made this line so that you can see it. Okay, I'm gonna remove it. How to make a direction by 2 points. Alright, right click here, search vector. Its name is vector by 2 points, as you can see here. Take a look at the right picture. It put 2 points so that it made a vector by them. Alright, click on it. I'm gonna give it as start and as end, alright. Now it gives us a vector. Alright, let's get over here. Did this plane want us a vector? As you can see on the left side of it, it says vector, alright. Well, you took a copy from it, paste it here. Its origin is 0, alright. If I connect this to this one and select its preview, as you can see, it gives me something like that. From 0 point to this direction. Naturally, if I change the location of this point, this plane will follow that. For example, if I disconnect it, it would be like this. I'm gonna give 3 to its x, alright. Alright, okay. You know what? This point specifies this vector, and the vector makes the plane direction. I can give this point to this, then make it go up. If I give this plane to rectangle, alright, it can make this rectangle. Let's review it. Rectangle needs a plane. And we had some default planes, XY, XZ, and as you can see, YZ, that if I connect each of these, our rectangle will be made. But we said that their problem is they're only made on 0 point. If you need to make a plane in a specific location, you should use this combination. That through this node, which is plane by origin, we gave it a point, and that point specifies the location of the plane, and normal specifies its direction, whether it's gonna be on z-axis or y or x, which is very good because it is exclusive. We specify the location. But its problem is it's always parallel to the global directions. We said that in order to make a direction by our own, we should define that direction in Dynamo by 2 points. By this node of vector by 2 points, I turn this point's direction into a vector. As I specified the origin of this node, play by origin, I didn't use the default vectors for its normal, which they are x, y, and z. I use my exclusive vector, which is vector by 2 points, as you can see. Then after that, I could make a diagonal plane. As the result, I gave it to the rectangle. And as you can see, I can set the rectangle in my favorite direction. There is an interesting point here that I should mention, is that the circle and the ellipse has this option as well, which is they can be made on a plane. As you are drawing a circle by center point radius, you cannot put it on a plane. You cannot even put it on the vertical XZ or YZ plane. It is always as default on a default plane. Now you can use another node right here, okay? Please wait a moment. Thanks. If you search circle here again, you can see it says by plane radius. Instead of giving a point to it, you need to give it a plane. For example, we give this plane to it, alright? Then it is made on it. Or for example, these default planes. Okay, XZ, it's good, I think. And when I connect this to this one, see? It will be like this. Okay, then after that we can give it a radius as well. So circle by plane radius makes a circle through the planes that you have made before. We have this option for ellipse as well. Search ellipse with 2L, ellipse by plane radii. So as you can see, it's so functional. But as you may understand, practically the rectangle doesn't have non-plane state. So a plane should be defined for it so that we can see its direction. So here we got acquainted with concept of plane and did use the default planes and defined exclusive planes, and after that we learned some new nodes. Vector by 2 points, plane by origin, circle and ellipse by plane, and that's it. So practice all of it very well, because as usual we have another very important practice. Alright, see you there.